Hello, and welcome to my presentation. My name is Aaron, and this is my pitch for this beautiful sci-fi movie called Project Sunrise. It's a developing title, but this is where it will go. Uh, Project Sunrise is basically named after the opening scene. It is a sunrise. So let's go with what we're gonna talk about today. The idea of the pitch, where it originated, and where it will go. The genre it actually is in general, the locations we're going to film, the team specialism of the one man band that is me, uh, the equipment I will be using, the storyline, the characters that will be introduced in the movie, and the justification of really why I will be doing this movie. So, about the idea. Think Waterworld meets I Am Legend with a sci-fi element. The use of 3D rendering, stop motion, as well as live action will consist throughout the video. And there are like it, those ways were proven to be successful and used for action adventures as well. For example, you got Clash of the Titans that has been used for stop motion since the 80s. Of course, in the 90s, live action has been shown in Waterworld as well, and of course in 2000s, I Am Legend. Of course, we're many leaps ahead right now when it comes to technology and innovation to make this happen. So this is the mood board I have created to give you the feeling of where this will go, this project. These types of colors will be included into the film, as well as some moments in certain scenes. Of course, you got a robotic dog, which I will talk about characters later on. Like I said about genres, this short motion picture covers three genres: action, adventure, and science fiction. I had to come to the conclusion that my film will consist of traits that will likely fall in those categories of genres. Because of my research on this topic, I found that the closest kin when it comes to similarities from will be movies such as John Carter, The Life of Pi, Waterworld, as well as The Day After Tomorrow. So I've looked throughout the perfect locations, and the best way is to localize film production when it comes to cost and effort. And I have looked into four particular parts. Now, the first option would be to use a physical set near a harbor. As you can see at the fourth circle on the map, you'd see a harbor in rail where I could it, it would actually have a much more a sense of realism if you use a physical ship, as you would have seen sci-fi films with very bad elements of CGI. So I try to remove this type of this border that could be a possible hurdle. Bad weather is welcome, unlike some other movies that shoot outside. However, it will ask we have to ask permission for the local harbor dock owners, as well as the owners of the sail vessel where we're gonna shoot this these particular scenes. But I have prepared for a possible negative outcome. So the plan B is to still do the majority of the scenes outdoors, as it will help to capture the natural lighting for the main protagonists. And for a third option, we're gonna look into indoor shooting for the most safest amount, um, for the actors as well as staff. So it will be done in front of a green screen or a blue screen. And we'll be adding some PNG images that will resemble parts of sail yachts in the essential film shots, and assemble it in the post-production video editing on Adobe Premiere Pro. My personal specialism is video editing, and my secondary is visual editing. Now, as the current major video project consists of only myself as only team member, I'll be taking full reign of the short film as well as its creative direction. Because of previous experience with previous film projects, I am most certain that I will be able to fulfill those roles needed, only in compromise to the length of the story as well as the viewer time. Now, when it comes to equipment, I would prefer a 4K DSLR with an addition of an anamorphic lens. Now, when it comes to anamorphic lens, it gives you that letterbox type of image, really. A 21:9 aspect ratio. Think about the classic CinemaScope, the letterbox format that in famous epic adventure films such as The Lawrence of Arabia as well as Ben-Hur has used. And this is just an example. I mean, just look at the scope, and it's just right for your eyes, where you'll be immersed, as well as the audience will be immersed with it. Now, at plan B, if I cannot require these equipment, will be an iPhone with external lenses that will give almost the same effect. However, if I could get neither of those things, I do have a Lumix 1080p DSLR camera, and I will mimic the look of an anamorphic letterbox type of style. Now, the story is quite an extensive story because it has a background. Now, the film takes place in an alternate reality future about 40 years from now, and the majority of the planet is underwater because of the partial destruction of the moon, which takes the moon slightly out of orbit because of a meteor strike. And the communication from humanity is lost as we know it. And the only way to gain knowledge is very primitive, just to cross the Atlantic oceans. And one of the only vessels that is still there is from the main protagonist, and that young person has to deliver medicines as well as a package. However, there are obstacles in the way. There's sea monsters growing out of the depths of the ocean because of nuclear waste. And he has to fend for himself. Of course, luckily he has a sidekick that will help him, guide him through his pre-installed knowledge before the humanity has lost its modern civilization. Eventually he finds an empty vessel, and he finds a message of a stranded captain, and he says he found a building that he can like live there for a while, but doesn't have much left of food. So he travels. The young messenger travels towards the building. However, it's going to collapse. Eventually, they escape just in time. But then a big storm comes, and against all the odds, they will likely survive, or will they? This is a concept that I have made. Now, the characters, like I just told you, is a young person called the Messenger. He lives out of pre-packaged food that will last for years and years. He's been sailing for at least 2 years just to bring the package to the other end of the planet. Now, the side characters is a robotic dog named E-Tron, and his silent captain that I have no name for now at the moment. And these are the main side characters. There are minor characters in development. They have some dialogue, but not much at the moment. Now, the justification behind it is this is a perfect opportunity to make this right now, because you could relate to this person, because this person is all alone by himself with a robotic dog, of course. He's fighting against the odds. He is trying to rebuild civilization with medicine, as well as the hidden package that he has been told not to open and not to give away at any cost. It tells a lot about self-isolation that we mostly know about during the COVID period, and it is such a mesmerizing, epic tale, really. Like the skill, the sheer scale of it, like is something that I've never seen before in a college project for the last 4 years. I'm most certain this will stand out as one of the most unique films that you will see in the next 2 years. And hopefully you got any question for me. I hope to hear it from you. Thank you.